Genesis 1 verse 2 is one of the most mysterious and awe-inspiring verses in the Bible. It paints a vivid picture of a primordial world, a chaotic and unshaped creation that was in desperate need of God's creative hand. Let's dive into this verse to uncover its meaning, its importance, and the message it holds for us today. A picture of chaos and potential. The verse begins with a description of the earth as without form and void. In Hebrew, the words are tohu vabohu, often translated as formless and empty. This image of chaos isn't just about physical disorder, it symbolizes a state of lifelessness, a canvas yet untouched by the Creator's brush. The scene is dark, literally and spiritually, with darkness over the face of the deep. The deep here refers to the primordial waters, an unorganized abyss. But here's where the hope comes in, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. The Hebrew word for hovering, rashaf, is like the fluttering of a bird, symbolizing care, anticipation, and readiness. God wasn't distant or indifferent, he was intimately involved, poised to bring order out of chaos, life out of emptiness, and light into the darkness. Why it's important. This verse sets the stage for everything that follows in the Bible. It shows us that God doesn't abandon chaos, he transforms it. This theme resonates throughout Scripture. Think of the Israelites wandering in the wilderness, the broken lives Jesus healed, and even the ultimate promise of a new heaven and new earth. God's Spirit is always present, bringing life and hope where there seems to be none. For us today, Genesis chapter 1 verse 2 is a reminder that no situation is too dark or too formless for God to redeem. Are you facing a season in life that feels like without form and void? This verse reminds us that the Spirit of God hovers over our chaos, ready to work miracles. Who wrote it and why? The traditional view attributes Genesis, along with the first 5 books of the Bible, to Moses. As the leader of the Israelites, Moses wrote Genesis to provide a foundational understanding of God as Creator, Sovereign, and Redeemer. For a people emerging from slavery in Egypt, this story was a declaration of freedom. Their God wasn't just a tribal deity but the creator of the universe, powerful and purposeful. By starting with creation, Moses gave the Israelites and us a lens to view our relationship with God. Genesis chapter 1 verse 2 in particular shows that God is both transcendent, above creation, and immanent, actively involved in it. The Gospel in Genesis chapter 1 verse 2. This verse also points us to the Gospel. Just as God's Spirit hovered over the waters, bringing order to chaos, Jesus came into our world to bring light into our darkness. In John chapter 1 verses 4 to 5, we read that Jesus is the light of humanity, and the darkness could not overcome him. Genesis chapter 1 verse 2 shows us that God has always been in the business of transformation. If he could bring the cosmos into order, he can bring order to your life. The Spirit of God that hovered over the waters is the same Spirit available to believers today, ready to bring hope, renewal, and peace. Closing thoughts. Genesis chapter 1 verse 2 isn't just a verse about the beginning of the world, it's a verse about the beginning of God's relationship with us. It reminds us that God is deeply invested in his creation, ready to turn chaos into beauty and darkness into light. Whatever you're facing today, take heart. The same God who hovered over the formless earth is hovering over your life, ready to create something beautiful.